Hello and welcome to the 24th edition of the RM Review.
Is it?
No.
Oh.
I think it's the 12th.
I don't think it's that many persons.
But we've received over 1,000 listens.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Thanks to whoever's listening and for the 0 comments we've received.
Yeah, please comment, because I just want to know that it's not YouTube messing up.
Well, yeah, I don't believe we've had any people listen to our reviews, which is quite sad. Today we're going to review Apollo 18. I would describe it as a scary moon film.
Yeah, it's a horror film based on the moon.
Can we have a plot outline of this potentially brilliant classic?
Right, three astronauts get contacted by the government saying that they need to have a secret mission to the moon. They go to the moon. Things go wrong.
What goes wrong? What can possibly go on the moon? There's nothing on the moon.
I mean, I don't want to give anything away too much, but basically, there's some extraterrestrials, and
really?
there were some Russians there as well.
Were they alive?
No.
I seem to remember when I was watching the film, you could sort of see in the background a creature. It looked like a rabbit.
Well, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing which I noticed about it is they did it in kind of like, the camera was all done in a kind of fuzzy, this is a moon-style camera. At no point did they use an actual proper camera to film it.
It's a similar premise to the Blair Witch Project and Paranormal Activity.
Yeah. In all fairness, though, I was expecting that camera to really start to annoy me after a while, and it didn't. It didn't annoy me. It did the job.
The sort of use of the camera didn't annoy me, but the lack of any activity in the film, that was a bit boring.
Well, no, how I interpreted it is that someone was like, okay, let's set a horror film on the moon, and someone else goes, but there's nothing on the moon, there's only rocks and stuff. And then that person goes, oh, we could make the rocks the thing that they're all scared of. Brilliant idea, let's make a film. It's not a brilliant idea. Not enough to base a film on, and it's silly.
It didn't quite work. It wasn't as good as other moon films such as Wallace and Gromit's Grand Day Out. That was far better.
Well, I was thinking personally more like the film Moon, that was kind of a psychological horror based on the moon with Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
That is absolutely brilliant, and people should watch it if you get a chance.
Did the characters seem real? Were you, convinced that this was a real event? Obviously, because it's stated at the beginning of the film. This actually happened.
Well,
this is real footage.
It annoys me when films do that, when it's clearly not real footage.
It could be. Blair Witch was real.
But Blair Witch wasn't real, Rob, unfortunately. A lot of Americans believed it was, though.
It's very scary.
The acting was fine. I mean, the characters were believable. The story wasn't, but the acting was absolutely fine. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just a bad idea.
Did the story move along? Did it flow?
Were
you enjoying yourself there?
It was slow. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a slow horror film because it builds suspense, but I think the idea that the premise was so stupid, the suspense wasn't building. I was just like, get on to something actually happening, which is not the sign of a good horror film.
Nothing did really happen, so I suppose moments that made you jump were when one of the astronauts made a funny face at the camera.
Yeah. Like I think I've said it before. I think there's two types of horror films: ones that make you jump, and ones that genuinely scare you and make you feel uneasy while watching it.
Give an example of either. A jumper would be...
A jumper would be... Well, usually the jumping films are the bad horror films. I actually quite like it, but the remake of Amityville Horror isn't a very scary film. It just makes you jump a couple of times. There's a particular scene where a kid's looking in a mirror and some weird zombie person's behind. Zombie films are good at making you jump, and they're not actually scary, they're seen more as action films. Whereas films like Paranormal Activity and Blair Witch Project, and in my personal opinion, particularly The Ring, they don't make you jump as much as they make you quite anxious while watching
Recoil.
Yeah, like, you don't really want to see what's going to happen, it's making you nervous. That's the sign of a good horror film. this film does not do that, in my opinion.
Were there any unnecessary scenes in this film that didn't quite fit?
I mean, no, because though it was very slow and boring, all the scenes that might be seen as being unnecessary are there for character development, so that I can understand why they're there. So, not really. I mean, there were 3 actors in it, and I felt they underused one of the actors who was on his own.
The one who was kind of satelliting around.
Yeah, he was waiting for the others to finish their mission. I thought they could have utilised him a little bit more because he was kind of just stuck on.
Was his role just simply to wait for them to finish their mission, then he could take them back to Earth?
Yeah.
That'd be boring.
Well, he was there for 2 days with nothing to do.
Question: you know, this sort of thing's been mentioned in relation to the actual moon landings, but when they stuck the flag into the moon, it
stood up perfectly rigid.
Why?
I don't know.
That's not possible.
It was the way they did it. I thought when it stuck up, I was like, oh, they've put a plastic flag up, and then later on it gets shredded.
It was an actual flag.
It was actually cloth, yeah. That's the big moon conspiracy, isn't it? The flag's moving, but there's no wind on the moon.
Well, who's to say there's no wind on the moon unless you go to the moon?
Yeah.
It's like saying that there are no cats in America. And a film did say that, but there are definitely cats in America.
What film said there were no cats?
What is it? It's the mouse one. The Russian mice. They want a better life because of the cats, and they all go. There are no cats in America.
Is that the one that's kind of the song? Oh, what's it called? It's like Tales,
something Tales. An American Adventure, something like
an American Tale.
An American Tale.
It's got a song in it. It's exactly like a Metallica song.
There are no cats in America.
The song. Oh, that's really going to annoy me.
We can mention it another time. Let's not panic about that. I did find it boring. The most exciting part of being in Screen 13 was the orange advert starring Gerard Depardieu. And what I implore all film goers to do is when that advert comes on, do the dance. Enjoy yourself. Make the most of your day out, because that's what we did. There was 5 of us as part of the group. We sat on the back row because we are, rebels. And we always sit at the back of the bus as well because we are quite rebellious.
Rebels.
I think we scare passers-by because we're sort of young, hip, and happening. But yes, I'm kind of waffling a little bit. Do the dance. Because I heard a few murmurs that they were saying, I wish I had the confidence to do the Gerard Depardieu dance.
You're still waffling, Rob. What would you give it out of 10?
No, I asked that question.
Go on then.
What would you give the film out of 10?
5.
5. I would give it 2.
What, it's as bad as Cowboys and Aliens?
It's on a par.
Really?
Maybe 2.5. I would give 1 mark... because I liked it when he exploded in his suit.
Anyway.
And I would give 1 mark because...
We're running out of time here, Rob. We're trying to do 2 films.
We're not doing 2 films in one. We're going to stop it and start again.
You said earlier you wanted to do 2 films?
No, two films, but separately. So it's fine. It's alright, we don't have to rush.
Right.
Plenty of time. The second mark would be for... that's a trail of thought now. Let's just say... because it was on the moon, and half a mark goes to the fact that it wasn't very long, so I didn't have to sit there in agony for that long. So he loses 7.5 marks because, once again, it was a rubbish film.
Thanks for clarifying your reason of every point. It was very helpful to the audience.
That's what I'm here for.
I'm just looking on the internet because I really wanted to see what that film was called. An American Tale.
It was An American Tale, and they also had another one. They had a sequel. I think it was called An American Tale 2.
Oh, there's a Metallica song. And there's
no cats.
There's one that sounds exactly like the theme tune to this film, and it's really annoying me that I can't remember the Metallica song. Oh, this is big. Sorry, I'm getting...
I think we need to
it's
stop.
Sudbury, it's Sudbury Tree.
Really?
No.
No, it's not Sudbury. Oh, this is...
It's not
no.
the Unforgiven.
This is boring the listeners.
Unless they like Metallica. Anyway, sorry. I'll find out what it is.
We will let you know.
That one.
There are no cats in America. That's it.
That's it. Right, anyway. Are we finishing?
Yeah.
Thanks,
I think
guys.
we're finished.
We're about to just do the in-betweeners, so stay tuned, because a video will come very soon. Thank you very much. Goodbye.